Hi, I'm Pastor Bob Donato, and I recently took a step of obedience and faith. The connection my wife and I have and continue to have with godly people have influenced our lives, and as a result, we have been changed and challenged in our service to God. Our journey of faith began in 1976 as two young adults, unchurched and far from home, watched a Billy Graham crusade on television. When the invitation was given to accept Jesus Christ as our Savior, Bea and I gave our hearts to Him and we were born again. Shortly afterward, we began attending a small Southern Baptist church in Virginia and went forward to publicly profess our faith and to be baptized. We owe a great debt of thanks to Gwen and Danny and Butch and Ann for caring for our souls. We moved back to Ohio after a 4-year enlistment with the United States Air Force. And after attending a small Baptist church for a short time, my wife was invited by our neighbor Lenore to attend a ladies' Bible study at Rush Church of the Nazarene, hosted by Lois Pierce. We started attending and became members, and it was under the spiritual guidance of Reverend Joe Pierce that I was called to the ministry during revival service held by Reverend Andre at Rush Church of the Nazarene. And over the next 30-plus years, I have pastored the Irondale Church of the Nazarene, Greentown Church of the Nazarene, and the last 20 years of my ministry at Grace Church of the Nazarene, from where I retired. These past 7 years, I have served under the pastoral leadership of Reverend Mike Bias at Hubbard Church of the Nazarene. Many wonderful and godly Christians have influenced our lives and helped us make major decisions. Of them all, Reverend Joe and Lois Pierce were our spiritual parents. And although they've gone to heaven, they are so dear and precious to our hearts. I wish they were still here so I could call them and tell them how God is moving. I thank God for the full and continued support of my wife, Bea, my son, Rob, and his wife, Kelly, my daughter, Lindsay, and her husband, Joe, and our grandchildren, Trey and Violet, and Landon and Travis. So coming full circle into retirement, Bea and I have continued to serve God. But in July of 2022, as we were having our devotions, Bea prayed a simple prayer saying, God, you know how Bob likes to preach. Could you please open up some preaching opportunities for him? Within 1 week, I was called to fill the pulpit at Lisbon Church of the Nazarene as Pastor Brian Brown took a well-deserved sabbatical. My next assignment was to fill the pulpit as interim pastor at the Niles First Community Church of the Nazarene under the direction of our district superintendent, David Lutz. Within 1 month of preaching as the interim pastor, I sensed God's impression and direction for me to consider becoming the pastor of this wonderful congregation. As I prayed and wrestled with that decision, God definitely confirmed that this was His will for my life at this time, giving me the wonderful assurance from Esther chapter 4, verse 14, which says, who knows that you have not been called for such a time as this? You know, God has a way of working out all of His details, and obedience and trust are vitally important. Although I could not quite understand why God was calling me back into active pastoral ministry, He impressed upon me that obedience comes before understanding. So no matter our age, God may still call us to do an important ministry. Remember, I was retired and I will turn age 70 this year, but I know positively and without a shadow of a doubt that I was recalled out of retirement to active pastoral ministry for such a time as this. Churches today need men and women that are committed to serving the Lord in ministry. Is God calling you? If He called me, maybe He's calling you as well. As our dear friend Eleanor used to say, never say never. If you're watching this and don't have a church home, I would like to invite you to join us at Niles First Community Church of the Nazarene, a great church with great people and a great place to call home.